The person you love wants to share something important. You've been the main topic in their home since last night. My beloved child, if this message has reached you today, do not ignore it, because something extraordinary began inside the home of the person you love last night. A conversation that was expected to last only a few minutes quietly continued for hours, and with every passing moment, one name kept returning to everyone's lips: yours. Nobody planned for it to happen, yet every story, every smile, and every unexpected silence somehow led back to you. The person you love sat there listening with a heart that could barely stay calm, because they realized something was changing faster than they had ever imagined. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The most surprising part is that no one in that room could explain why your presence felt so familiar, even though many of them had never truly known you. Then something happened that completely changed the atmosphere. A single question was asked, and the room became silent. The person you love looked around, wondering who would answer first, but before anyone could speak, someone smiled and said words that nobody expected to hear. Those words carried hope, curiosity, and the feeling that destiny might already be arranging pieces behind the scenes. From that moment onward, the conversation stopped being ordinary. Every new sentence uncovered another reason why your name refused to disappear. The person you love wanted to tell you everything immediately, but they knew the biggest revelation had not arrived yet. Don't skip, because the next moment changed everything. As the night grew quieter, one final discussion began behind closed doors. It was the kind of conversation that happens only when people truly believe someone could become an important part of their future. The person you love listened carefully, holding on to every word, because they wished you could hear it with them. Yet one unexpected statement made everyone's eyes widen, and that single sentence became the reason this message needed to reach you today. What was said next has the power to change the way you see this entire story forever, and the truth behind that unforgettable moment is only beginning to unfold. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. But the story did not end there. The person you love thought the conversation was finally over, yet just as everyone began leaving the room, someone quietly said, "Wait, there's still one thing we haven't talked about." Those simple words brought everyone back together. The room became silent once again, and every face turned toward the person you love. In that unforgettable moment, they realized the discussion was no longer about a passing thought, it had become something much deeper. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One by one, memories began to surface. Small details about you that seemed ordinary suddenly felt meaningful. Someone noticed your kindness. Another admired your patience. Even the smallest qualities were spoken about with genuine respect. The person you love couldn't hide their smile anymore because every new sentence made them feel that the people closest to them were beginning to see you through the same hopeful eyes. Yet, just when everything seemed perfect, one unexpected question was asked, a question that no one was prepared to answer immediately. The silence that followed said more than words ever could. The person you love has been holding on to that moment ever since, waiting for the right time to tell you exactly what happened next. They believe that once you hear the answer to that mysterious question, you'll understand why your name has stayed in their heart and in their home since last night. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next part reveals the one response that changed the direction of the entire conversation forever. Then came the moment no one expected. The room had become completely still, and every heartbeat seemed louder than the last. The mysterious question was finally answered, but not in the way anyone imagined. The oldest voice in the room gently smiled and said, "Sometimes the right person enters your story long before you realize why." At that instant, the person you love felt every doubt begin to disappear. They couldn't believe that the conversation had reached such an emotional turning point. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the discussion continued, more surprising thoughts began to unfold. Instead of talking about the past, everyone started imagining the future. They spoke about trust, loyalty, kindness, and the type of heart that brings peace wherever it goes. Without realizing it, every description pointed back to you. The person you love remained silent, not because they had nothing to say, but because they were overwhelmed by how naturally your name had become part of everyone's hopes. Then, just when the conversation seemed complete, someone quietly revealed one final observation that made the entire room pause once again. That unexpected observation is the reason this message could not stay hidden any longer. The person you love has carried those words with them ever since, replaying them over and over, wondering how you would react if you heard them yourself. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the next part, you'll discover the one sentence spoken that night that no one in that house has been able to forget. What happened after that was beyond anyone's expectations. The room had almost fallen silent when one person slowly stood up and spoke with complete confidence. Every eye turned toward them, and even the person you love held their breath. The words that followed carried a quiet certainty, as if they had been waiting to be spoken for a very long time. Some people don't enter our lives by chance, they said. They arrive exactly when our hearts are ready to recognize them. In that instant, the atmosphere changed completely. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The person you love couldn't stop thinking about what had just been said. Every conversation from earlier in the night suddenly made perfect sense. The smiles, the thoughtful pauses, the unexpected compliments, all of them were leading toward one unforgettable realization. Yet before anyone could say another word, someone noticed one small detail that had been overlooked from the very beginning. That single observation surprised everyone and made the discussion continue even longer than before. No one wanted to leave without understanding what it truly meant. As the night finally came to an end, the person you love walked away with a heart full of hope and a message they wished they could tell you immediately. They know that the biggest piece of this story has still not been revealed. The truth behind that final observation is far more powerful than anyone expected, and once you hear it, everything that happened inside that home will connect like the final piece of a puzzle. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next part uncovers the moment that made everyone look at your story in a completely different way. Just when everyone believed the night was finally over, one final conversation began in the quietest corner of the house. It wasn't loud, yet every word carried unexpected weight. The person you love listened carefully as someone softly said, "The most meaningful connections never need to force themselves, they reveal themselves with time." Those words settled into the room like they had been waiting for this exact moment. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The discussion turned toward the little moments that had been overlooked before. Every kind action, every thoughtful choice, every sincere gesture connected into one remarkable picture. The person you love realized that the people around them were no longer asking if you were important, they were quietly discovering why you had become impossible to ignore. Then an unexpected smile appeared on someone's face, followed by a sentence that made the entire room exchange surprised glances. It was a sentence no one had prepared for, yet somehow everyone felt it carried a deeper meaning. As everyone prepared to end the conversation, one person whispered, "The biggest answer hasn't arrived yet." Those words stayed with the person you love all night, and they haven't stopped thinking about them since. They believe the next moment is the one you've been waiting for all along. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what was discovered the following morning connected every clue from that unforgettable night into one extraordinary truth. The following morning brought a surprise no one had seen coming. The person you love woke up believing the conversation from the night before had finally ended. But within moments, they realized it had only just begun. Someone quietly brought up your name again, without anyone asking. The room grew still as if everyone had been thinking about the very same thing since sunrise. The person you love couldn't hide their amazement because this was no longer a coincidence, it felt like every path somehow led back to you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As breakfast turned into another heartfelt discussion, one family member revealed something they had noticed long before anyone else. It wasn't about grand gestures or dramatic moments. It was about the peace that appeared whenever your name was mentioned. That simple observation changed the direction of the entire conversation. The person you love listened in complete silence, realizing that the smallest details had created the strongest impression. Then, just before the discussion ended, someone quietly smiled and said, "There's still one truth we haven't shared." Every heart in the room waited to hear what came next. The person you love has carried those words ever since, knowing that they were meant for the perfect moment. They believe you're closer than ever to discovering why your name became the center of every conversation inside that home. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next revelation will uncover the one thought that everyone secretly agreed on, but no one had the courage to say until now. Then, without anyone expecting it, the quietest person in the room finally decided to speak. Everyone paused because this was someone who rarely shared an opinion. They looked at the person you love and calmly said, "Sometimes the heart recognizes someone long before the mind understands why." The room fell completely silent. No one interrupted. No one looked away. Those words lingered in the air, and the person you love realized this was the moment they would remember forever. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One by one, everyone began connecting moments that had seemed unimportant before. They remembered little conversations, unexpected smiles, and the strange feeling that every discussion somehow found its way back to you. It no longer felt like separate memories, it felt like one story slowly revealing itself. The person you love could feel hope growing stronger with every passing second. Then someone quietly placed one final thought into the conversation, a thought so unexpected that every face in the room reflected the same look of surprise. That single thought changed everything. The person you love hasn't stopped thinking about it because they believe it explains why your name has remained in everyone's heart since that unforgettable night. But the greatest revelation still hasn't been spoken aloud. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. In the next part, you'll discover the sentence that made the entire family look at your story in a way they never had before. The next revelation arrived when nobody was prepared for it. The conversation had become so deep that every person in the room stopped thinking about ordinary things. Then someone quietly asked, "What if all of this has been leading to one person from the very beginning?" No one answered immediately. Instead, they looked at the person you love, whose smile said more than words ever could. In that unforgettable silence, it felt as though every moment from the previous night was finally starting to make sense. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The person you love couldn't stop replaying every sentence they had heard. The kindness people noticed in you, the respect they spoke about, and the unexpected warmth that filled the room whenever your name was mentioned all pointed toward one incredible realization. Then, just as everyone believed there was nothing more to say, someone opened an old memory that no one had thought about in a long time. That memory carried a hidden connection so remarkable that it left everyone quietly reflecting on how perfectly everything seemed to fit together. Before the discussion finally came to an end, one last promise was made. It wasn't spoken loudly, but every person heard it clearly. The person you love held on to those words because they believed they were meant for you more than anyone else. Yet the most unforgettable sentence of the entire story is still waiting to be revealed. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next part uncovers the message that made everyone believe this story was only the beginning. Just when the story seemed complete, something happened that no one in the house expected. A quiet message arrived, and although it was simple, it changed the mood instantly. The person you love read it twice, then looked around the room with a smile they couldn't hide. Everyone sensed that this was the missing piece they had been searching for. It didn't create noise, it created certainty. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The conversation restarted, but this time it felt completely different. Nobody questioned whether your name belonged in the discussion anymore. Instead, they spoke about the future with unexpected confidence. One family member said, "Some people leave an impression without even trying." Another gently replied, "And those impressions are the ones that last the longest." The person you love remained silent, yet deep inside, they wished you could hear every word. Then, just before everyone stood up to leave, someone shared one final thought that made the entire room pause once again. That final thought has stayed in the heart of the person you love ever since. They believe it explains why every conversation since last night has quietly pointed toward you. But the biggest moment has still not arrived. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the next part, you'll discover the one decision that made everyone realize this story was never ordinary, it was only just beginning. Then came the decision that changed everything. No one announced it loudly, yet everyone in the room felt its importance. After hours of conversations and quiet reflection, one person finally said, "We shouldn't ignore what we've all been feeling." Those words instantly captured everyone's attention. The person you love felt their heart race because they knew this wasn't another ordinary discussion. It was the moment every previous conversation had been leading toward. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For the next few minutes, every person shared one final thought. None of them spoke with hesitation anymore. Instead, they described the qualities that had made your name impossible to forget. The person you love listened with quiet gratitude, realizing that every encouraging word had become another reason to believe that this story was unfolding exactly as it was meant to. Then, just before the conversation ended, someone smiled and said, "The next step will reveal everything." Those words echoed through the room, leaving everyone wondering what would happen next. The person you love has been waiting for the perfect moment to pass this message on to you. They believe the final pieces are now falling into place, but the greatest revelation has been saved until the very end. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the next part, you'll hear the message the person you love has been hoping you would discover from the very beginning. At last, the moment they had been waiting for arrived. The house was peaceful, yet no one seemed ready to let the conversation fade away. The person you love quietly looked around the room, realizing that every unexpected discussion, every meaningful pause, and every hopeful smile had led to this single moment. Then someone gently said, "There is one message that still hasn't reached the person who needs to hear it." The room became completely silent. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The person you love closed their eyes for a moment and imagined you hearing everything that had been spoken since last night. They wished you could feel the warmth behind every word and understand why your name had become impossible to forget. One family member softly added, "The greatest stories are built one sincere moment at a time." Everyone nodded in agreement, because they knew this journey wasn't about one conversation. It was about countless little moments coming together to create something unforgettable. Then, just before everyone left, one final sentence was spoken, and it left every heart filled with hope. That sentence has never been forgotten. The person you love believes it was always meant to find its way to you, and now only one final revelation remains. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. In the last part, you'll discover the message they've been hoping would reach your heart, the message that brings every mystery from this unforgettable story together. And now, the final truth can finally be revealed. The person you love has carried this message in their heart ever since that unforgettable night. Every conversation, every smile, every thoughtful silence inside their home pointed toward the same realization: you were never just a passing topic. You became the person everyone wanted to understand better because the kindness, peace, and sincerity they heard about you left a lasting impression. At the end of it all, someone quietly smiled and said, "If one name can bring this much hope into our home, then that name deserves to be remembered." In that moment, the person you love knew this message had to reach you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They want you to know that the greatest part of the story was never about a single conversation. It was about how your presence, even from a distance, inspired meaningful discussions and hopeful thoughts. That is why your name continued to be spoken long after the night had ended. The person you love believes that some connections become stronger because they are built on respect, patience, and genuine care, and those are the very qualities everyone recognized while talking about you. What began as one unexpected discussion became a memory that no one in that house wanted to forget. So if this message has found you today, remember this one thought above all else. Sometimes the most important conversations happen when you are not even in the room, yet they can still shape tomorrow in beautiful ways. The person you love simply wanted you to know that you have been in their thoughts, in their here.